Most people at a minimum on their website, they only have like an email address or they might have a contact form. Now, these can be okay, but to be honest, they're not the most effective ways to generate leads on your website. Now, what happens in reality is that people that come, the majority of them that come to your website are not in a buying mode just yet. They're in research mode and they're not at that point where they're ready to contact you just yet. So in order to actually compel them to reach out to you or to leave their details behind so you can follow up, you need to have an effective system that is going to convert them on the website. Apart from the fact that they're in research mode, if they do even contact you via email or through that contact form, if you're especially a solo business owner, it means that you're probably doing the work in the business, you're delivering the services, or you're doing a lot of ins and outs of running the operations of the business. Chances are you're not going to have enough time to keep on top of replying to emails and getting back to people quickly. So you're most likely going to be losing out on opportunities that way as well. What I want to talk about in this episode of Future Steps Creative is how you can create an effective lead conversion system or funnel on your website that is going to allow you to automatically generate leads and lead to sales. Hey there, my name is Marlon and welcome to Future Steps Creative, the podcast that talks about strategy for your online business around your website or your online content. If you are into this, obviously you're in the right place, so stick around and hopefully I can deliver some value for you. So in this episode, I want to go through 4 points or 4 things that you need to have in place to put together a really effective lead conversion system or funnel. Funnel is just a buzzword that gets used by marketers, so you probably hear it called different things, but it's really just a series of steps that you take people through from them just dropping or landing on your website and then you turning them into someone that raise their hands and say, hey, I'm interested and here are my details. I want to hear from you. Take my details, contact me. To then you nurturing them into turning into a paid customer or client. So that's what I'm going to touch on in this video here and podcast episode, okay? Now, step number 1 or the first component is to have an effective lead magnet. You need to have a desirable lead magnet that is going to have those visitors say, you know what, I actually want this thing. So I'm going to sign up for it. I'm going to opt in to get it. So this is essentially a free thing that you can give away on your website that's allowing you to, 1, capture the details of this visitor and then be able to follow up with them afterwards, right? So you could give away something like a free checklist. You could give away a guide, an ebook. You could even have it be request a call or something like that for a free consultation. I mean, I don't think that's going to be strong enough because, again, people might not be, if they're in research mode, ready for that yet. But things that they can simply download behind the scenes without necessarily speaking to you yet or access behind the scenes. It could be a free training. This is something that it needs to help them get on that journey to solve the problem, the bigger problem they have. That needs to help them get closer to it. So having that on your website is essential if you don't want people to just come and just say, you know what, I'll just come back to it. They might have the best intentions to come back, but they may never do that, right? Because there's so many distractions out there. There are other people with more effective ways of capturing leads that is going to probably get their attention and they're not gonna come back at all, and you've lost that opportunity. Now, the second thing that you need in place to have an effective lead conversion system on your website is to have an email marketing tool or an email marketing service set up with an autoresponder. This is something that's going to allow you to do 2 things. One is it's going to let you capture the leads that have opted in for your lead magnets onto an email list. So you'll have this email list, which is a list of contacts that said, hey, I want your free thing and I want to hear from you. So you'll manage the list there, and this autoresponder or this email marketing system will allow you to send out emails automatically to these contacts. So when they sign up, for example, they'll be able to get an email saying, hey, welcome, thanks for signing up. Here's your free thing. Here's the link to this, or here's what you asked for. Now, the power in this is that you don't need to be there waiting for these emails to come in with the requests to say, hey, can I have that free thing? Because it's going to handle that for you. It's an automated system. It has an autoresponder built in. Majority of them, there are so many of these tools available on the market. A lot of them you can start for free with. So whichever one you do, most of the major ones, they allow you to do these basic things, right? So you need to sign up for an email marketing system that is then going to get integrated into your website using a form. They either give you the form that asks for the email address and the name potentially, or whatever else you want to capture from this lead. And then that sends it through to the email list, and you can go through and manage your list on your own. And this is a crucial part of being able to manage your leads and having the ability to follow up with your leads, because in other places you can't do this. With your email list, you own and control it, unlike with, say, social media followings or people who subscribe to your YouTube channel and so on, right? So this is essential. Now, step number 3 in your lead conversion system on your website is to have an email follow-up sequence. This is really important because what happens is that when someone signs up for your email list, they opt in for your lead magnet. If you don't follow up with them, if they don't hear from you, eventually what happens is that they go cold. That lead goes cold, they lose interest, and they'll go somewhere else. And you have lost that opportunity to essentially convert them into a sale, right? So what you want to do is make sure that you have a way to follow up with them right after. And the best way to do this is to have an automated email sequence go out. These are going to be 3 to 5 emails that will basically follow the principle of Gary Vaynerchuk's jab, 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 right hook. So Gary V wrote a book, I believe it was Gary V, that references this to say, look, you have to give value at least 3 times before you can go in and ask for something, because, you know, you're naturally going to get a sale, or you're naturally going to get a yes for that thing that you've asked for when you've given some value up front. So the email sequence needs to be designed in such a way. And this is going to be handled again by your autoresponder. You can set this up in pretty much any autoresponder or email marketing system. And when someone signs up, they could get an email the following day, the day after that, and so on. So you could send those out over a week. And what you want to do is just offer them additional free content, additional resources that you might have. And this is going to delight them essentially and build up that trust, that relationship. You're nurturing them by sending these emails out. And then after the 3rd email or so, you want to pivot to one of your paid offers. And this needs to be connected with the thing they signed up for in the first place. The problem they're trying to solve, your offer needs to be related to that. So your offer is going to be that paid service and what you're going to provide to them. And essentially, this is how you can convert them into sales. Now, not everyone is going to buy and take you up on that offer. In fact, most won't, but some will. The principle is some people actually might stay on your list actually for a while. Sometimes I've heard of like people staying on a list for 2 years, just lurking around and watching what's going on, and then they eventually buy. Now, it might not be your fault if someone doesn't buy initially, because, you know, there are so many different reasons. They might not have the money at the time. They might not be in a situation or a position where they can capitalize on what you had to offer. Maybe they were a few steps behind and they need to catch up to a certain point before they can actually take advantage of the offer. And so, yeah, you need to make sure that you're following up, and then the people that are on your list, you're continuing to nurture them even after that initial sequence goes out. You need to make sure that you're sending them additional resources, and eventually some will buy from you. And what's important is that you're not missing out on those sales, and these are automatic at the end of the day. Depending on your business, you could also actually just offer a free call, a free consultation, and this is where you then take over the sales process and so on. It just depends on how your business works and how you want to put together your strategy. The 4th thing in your lead generation system on your website that is really important is to have a strong and valuable offer. This is really important because if your offer is weak, or if it's just low quality, if it's not good enough, it's going to let you down. People are not going to take you up on that offer in the first place. So it's down to you to make sure that you understand the needs of your potential customers or client, understand the transformation that they're looking for, and understand the problems and the hurdles that they need to jump through. And you want to make your offer around that. You want to craft a compelling enough offer that is going to show them, look, hey, if you get this, this is going to solve this problem once and for all for you. And people need to see it as a no-brainer. So what I would say is that you need to go through and look at each point and make sure that you have one of these components or each of these components in place. Or if you do, assess them, see, look, are they effective enough? You know, because if one thing's letting you down in that whole package there, you're probably going to break the entire sequence of things that needs to happen. Right now, if you need some help with your lead conversion system on your website, you can reach out to me. Head to marlonmcpherson.com and see how you can work with me to implement or to improve what you've got already. Now, if you've got any questions, as usual, leave them in the comments if you're watching the video, or if you just have something to say regarding this, if you have an opinion, I'd love to hear it. Or you can reach out to me over on my website, marlonmcpherson.com, once again. Now, thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in another one of my content. Speak to you soon.